And we're live and ticking. We are live and kicking. It is Wednesday, and personal terms is not a problem for the second time. We are back, people. We are back with no bullshit united, or some people might say like this as well.
What? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
Let's go.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world
on Mufc Realist TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
Hello, people. How are you doing? Mick Ruby here in the house again with Jarvis Cocker, and below there we have Call a Spade a Spade. Mr. Call a Spade, J. Daly. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Good to be back here with yourself, Jarvis, and Andy on a Wednesday night. Hopefully, make it a regular thing.
Yeah. How are you going, Andy?
I'm good in the hood, mate. I've just been on the Man United agenda, having a laugh, and that was a good podcast. Stretford Paddoc's on as well, but I'll catch them later. Good. I'll watch.
We do like
Jay and Joe. That had a laugh, but this is my bread and butter tonight, gentlemen.
This is the bread and butter. As what we say with Monty Python, like, and always having a laugh. Always look at the bright side of life. Jarvis, what's cooking in your kitchen tonight?
Barbecue.
I also did have a barbecue. Man, come on.
Yeah, when the weather is nice up in the north, you have to barbecue. So it's like 10 days in the year. So barbecue every day.
Yeah, no, everyone has been super busy. It's been a crazy day, crazy week in the world of Manchester United, in the midst of the takeover, in the midst of the transfer, midst of the budgets, the FFPs. There's so much spinning on that plate, on the DJ plate of Mike Ashton. You know Mike Ashton, the PR director. Hi, my name is... Hi. So listen, we are here to call a spade a spade. It's bullshit. Certain things and certain positive things. I mean, in terms of what's going on with the takeover tonight, actually, as we speak, they had a vote. What do you call it? A general management meeting or something like that in New York. AGM, yeah. So that means that, you know, you gather around, like, you know, with a vote to vote for no vote of confidence. The budget has been presented. Sheikh Yassim, according to Bloomberg, is also coming out. When Bloomberg is reporting, then, you know, it's Red Rover, you know, in a game over Red Rover in a way. You had Reuters coming out, Bloomberg. I myself has been reporting this heavily. And I'm just feeling, all right, I feel Qatari. You know what? It's like nobody really knows. It's a secrecy. Like, when will they be announced? I did a little bit of a small podcast, 10 minutes recording to say, look, you know what? It's a secrecy. What's going to hold it up? We know that we have a budget to spend, according to yesterday, 260 million pounds, right? Apparently. That will be available from the 30th. That makes sense. So it makes sense also that they can delay the ownership, because that means that you can still go on the transfer market, guys, and still, when Sheikh Yassim comes in, clear the debt, you know, add more extra kitty in the party, and now we're cooking. Guys, do you call it bullshit, or do you call it pipe screen, or do you think it's really getting hot out there? I'll start with you, Andy.
I rather trust American journalists than English journalists, and the way the media have behaved recently with the United and English media in general in this country over the last 3 years, the way they've dealt with everything, with COVID as well. So I rather trust American respectable leaks or respectable rumours than anything that the English media come out, because now if it is true, you're gonna have to suck it up, mate.
Yep, the gravy train.
And the gravy train's over, and you're gonna have to like Oliver says, please, sir, can I have some more? You're going to be begging secretaries, mate. So, yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Jay? I mean, have you been following this lately, today and yesterday? The development.
Okay, well, there's no question that the last, say, 20 years, United have used the English media to propagate their propaganda. As Andy said, it's like an episode of Our Twist. Drift free crumbs to the journalists, to keep journalists on side that will only produce positive stories for the club, and to drip feed tidbits of news stories when the club wants to spin an agenda against a player, or spin agenda against the fans, or to keep the club relevant in the transfer market, when we've known the last couple of seasons where we weren't going to be as active. But a large part of that AGM, the financial reports, as you guys know, they'll delve into what portion of the income has come from social media, hits, clicks, and likes across the various platforms. So who keeps those hits, clips, and likes going? The English journalists. And to Andy's point, when you see the likes of Reuters and Bloomberg, these are serious journalistic organizations.
Yeah.
So if you have, for instance, I'd rather read a report from Reuters than The Athletic. The Athletic, when it first came out, I thought it would be reputable, but now I think The Athletic has become, like a lot of the outlets, clickbait. So I think it's the worst kept secret, probably in world football at the moment, that Qatar will take over. It's a matter of when they take over. So
yeah,
it's going to happen. Be it next week, the week after, or a month's time, it will happen. So the Qatar are going to do business very differently. They're going to play the cards close to the chest. They're not going to be drifting journalists like the Gibbs have.
No, they've been
Woodward
silent.
And Murta. It's not how they do business. It's a different business dynamic. So, but at the same time, flip side is, what have we come to expect the last 80 years from the Glazers? Mismanagement, incompetence, and not hiring the best individuals across the club to do the best job. So I was very reticent in would I welcome Qatar. If Qataris come in and they clean out scouting staff, clean out the finance department, the marketing department, and actually put in place, as Gary Neville said, the best in class CEO, the best in class technical director, best in class director of football, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
so
100%.
right now, we until that happens, we are in a holding pattern, and I don't pay much credence to the figure up to 60. I don't. I think that's a pie in the sky number that's been dragged out of thin air for me, just to placate the fan base for another few months. I don't mind that too much, to be honest with you.
Jarvis, you're on mute, by the way, but you're more conservative in that way. You seen, I really bigging up, like, Sam Peoples from Sam Peoples TV. Like, he did a brilliant video yesterday explaining everything, going over the document. And I kind of agree, because I look at the finances and say, okay, they reduced that wage bill and they reduced that credit down to 40 million. And the initial statement said by 30th, we will have zero, but it turned out to be 40 million. So technically speaking, they were saying that we will have 260 million pounds to spend. And that is the pledged overdraft from last year as well. What's your take on that?
Yeah, the last financial report that came out yesterday, they said we have our biggest debt in all time. So I think it was 712 or 20 millions. So yeah, we are struggling. The good thing for the Glazers was our profits are up. So profit dividends is up. So we're making more money than we did last year, even without the Champions League. That's very strange for me. I think they are.
The match going revenues is high up.
Yeah, I think it's something wrong with those numbers. But maybe it's indicating that they are selling. They're like in Norway we call it putting makeup on a pig, make it look more beautiful. and
Yeah,
maybe they
paper
do
of
the
the
thing
cracks,
before
yeah.
the sale. Yeah,
Cock in the box.
yeah, basically.
We all know who's doing that in this town, don't we? So
Yeah.
And
But
we
still,
have problems now financially. So we have lost money the 3 last quarters. We have lost. I heard today we have lost combined. I think it was 11 or 12 millions the 3 last quarters. So it's going downhill all the time. We're not making money. We're losing money, and that's a problem. So
yeah.
basically, the Glazers can't stay. They can't keep on like this, or we will go bankrupt.
Okay, we call it as it is.
What? A
Yeah.
bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
That's it. Bullshit. I just want to add on to, because I've been doing this reporting for quite a forensic investigation, stuff like that, because at the end of the day, the sales takeover and the transfer operations is 2 separate things. You know, Bank of America is actually the Manchester United PLC's operating bank, as we know, that owns the bonds and credits. But, you know, in the midst of the takeover, they made pledge to, you know, either if it was Sheikh Yassim or even if it was the club or, you know, 92 Holding Foundation, that there will be money spent in just in case. So basically, once the bidders win, they will clear everything, you know, including that as well, and adding on extra. So basically, what you want to do is clear the whole overall, like, you know, debt to zero, and then, you know, you can add on more money to the FFP and spending. So, you know, I'm not panicking. The only thing that I'm thinking about, okay, if money is there for Ten Hag initially to go, like we're going to talk about triggering the release clause on Kim Min-jae that's open on the 1st, that means that money is available as of the 30th, according to the financial reports. That means that on the 1st, when the transfer window opens, you probably most likely spoken to all your targets. You'll be able to go in and negotiate, put straight into the deals, bang, right? And that is no bullshit. That is kind of, I think they operated under stealth, knowing that they always knew after the 30th we will have money. But prior to that, we can negotiate. What do you reckon, Angie?
yeah, I believe, like you say, I believe it when I see it. That you can talk to players and agents by all means. That's freedom of speech. But can you just hang on? Can you just hang on? Declan Rice, fancied United as well, but he's best friends with Luke Shaw, isn't it? And Mason Mount, you know, your own best buds in England. So, but he's going to Arsenal. Players can't wait forever.
Yeah.
Players can't wait forever. They have to go, like you say. I don't want to stay at West Ham. I want to leave now. He's at West Ham now. Have to, like you say, keep their end of the bargain. And he's been sold to Arsenal for 105 million, which is crazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
Absolutely snooker looper. Absolutely.
Cronky one must have gone to his wife and, like, you know, cracked the piggy bank. He's like, hey, wife, look over there. Run. Here you go, Edu. Here you go, Tita. You know.
Yeah,
but seriously, 105 million for Declan Rice, and they need a striker. They need more players. So that is madness. That's a record. That is a record fee.
Yeah.
He's an English record fee for an English player, isn't it?
It is record for Premier League in general for English players. Well, 105 million pounds. All right. So they're seriously cooking, right? I think it's an overpriced commodity. And I mean, rice is a commodity.
rice, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's been doing the rounds today on the telly on YouTube.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Before I continue, let us not forget the most important VAR room, guys. Before we started the stream, there was 120 preloaded messages. So you guys been waiting. I can just shout out to Lucky Singh. Simon Heron is in the house. RJ is in the house. John Johnson is in the house. Who else is in the house? Let me browse. And so many of you, actually. I hope I don't miss anything. Angie's in the house as well, I think. Jarvis Cocker is in the house. Yes, you're sitting there. Yeah. True.
Here.
You're sitting there. It's going to be very hard to navigate this VR room today because we have a lot of things to talk about. But anyway, big up to all of you that's been preloading the messages. We will try to read it out as much as we can. Carlos is in the house. Mohamza is in the house. It says, big up people, big up, like, sub, and subscribe if you're new. Love and light from Doha. Love and light for you, peace, brother, and Eid Mubarak to you as well. Hopefully, you'll be a very proud Qatari with Manchester United affiliation, sir. RRS saying, good to see you, Jay. 100%. Chris Breeze is in the house. Good evening, everyone. Any day, pause us by no movement on anything. Latest stories of the Glazers fighting between themselves, which is stalling the takeover. That is kind of what media is saying. But me and Jarvis had a discussion regarding this. They are a family. They share everything equal. It's like you serving a birthday cake on the table, right? You got to have equal slices for everyone. Otherwise, you're going to have a quarrel. Hang on. Not a breadcrumb over, milligram over, right?
Oh, yeah, they're doing Daddy proud. They're fighting. They're doing their dad proud. They'll be so happy of his siblings stalling and fighting between themselves for every last cent. So proud. Such a proud family from Tampa. Not.
Yeah. Mr. Tanky is in the house. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Tanky is in the house. Good evening, boys. This is a proper heavyweight lineup. Yes, 100%. What were you saying, Jarvis?
Yeah, it's like when you're a kid, you're sharing a soda with your sibling. You're just like pouring a little bit to the cup and a little bit to the other one. That's the
you
Glazers.
just got a little bit more, and it's like, yeah, you can have some. Yeah.
Guys, you know, Jarvis, take it over. I'm checking the VR. There's so many of them here, so I'm just going over.
Yeah, there's so many in the VAR room, and I'm glad we have Jay and Andy in the house. We have some topics for today. Maybe we should just jump into it. I want to start with yesterday's news with the De Gea treatment. So I'm interested hearing Jay's point on that one.
Yeah, I suppose I'm not going to be disappointed. It's what I expect from the club. The way we've treated club legends in the past has been nothing short of disgraceful. We let Roy Keane walk away to Celtic back 2005. He was very badly treated when he left. I thought that was abysmal. The way Beckham was allowed to leave for chump change to Real Madrid. So we have a history of treating our legends very poorly. And in the concept of De Gea, to put a contract on the table in any business and your employee signs it, and then you come back a few weeks later and you want to renegotiate the original contract on X amount of money less, that just sparks of being unprofessional and incompetent. So David De Gea, I know you can park your stats about distribution, park your stats about coming for crosses, park your recency bias. There's many seasons where he kept us from not being a mid-table team.
True.
Especially under the disastrous Moyes era. Secondly, under the second year where Van Gaal was in charge, I thought we were a mid-table side. And I would argue as well, the first season under Jose, we were dodgy, and he saved us a lot. So fans look at De Gea and they look at this season, specifically the game against Sevilla, and they don't see the bigger picture. I think he's been very badly treated by the club. Yes, I think now he would definitely go. His professional pride would tell him, hang on a second, I'm here for 12 years, latter part of my career. I'm the only player in the squad that's actually won a league title. I've won everything that's worth winning in the game, bar European Cup. My partner had a baby last year, so 2 years ago. I went to Spain for the birth, and I come back and I'm out of the side for a knocking goalkeeper to Henderson. So he was badly treated by De Gea. He's been badly treated now by Harker, the club. So I think he will leave. And guaranteed, guys, as soon as Okana or whoever we sign, like the shiny new toy, as soon as they make a mistake, or have a blunder, or have a one bad game, wait for the tweets. Wait for the knives
to come out, yeah.
Just cut De Gea. So a lot of this De Gea stuff in the fan base, it's pure recency bias. I think a lot of fans have this attention span of a goldfish, and they all flock to whatever the new narrative. I think
the new shiny toy, yeah.
I think it's been very badly treated personally. Andy, what do you think?
Andy, do you reckon this is a typical of fan base treatment? Like, you know, everyone is raving about the new shiny toy, but as soon as that person makes a mistake, he's shit, right? Everyone is slagging, and we've seen it over, especially on Twitter.
Oh yeah, we've seen it over the years, but it's like you said, a shiny new toy. You first make a mistake, the knives will be out. But is this not brought on by the Gea himself with the performances over the last few months? It's sort of, like you say, his loyalty, the way they're treating him is disgusting. I agree, but
I agree.
He's contributed to this. He's made mistakes. He's dropped clangers. I remember in the derby last season, he never got that ball on the far post, and Bernardo Silva just got to it, and when he should have had it, it's like mistakes. It's them mistakes. It's stick in my mind, and that's what's convinced me. Enough's enough. It was one mistake, one too many in the last couple of games, the last few games of the season. FA Cup final, Sevilla. I'm sorry, man. It's my valid opinion. Everyone's got entitled. You're entitled to, like you say, you do not abuse him. But I just say enough's enough. And if you want results now, if you want a keeper that gets you that extra 8-9 points that might get you somewhere in the league, might get you a little bit higher, Jay,
Andy,
I'm all for it.
I agree with the point you're making, and it's a very valid point. Absolutely, yes. However, you don't think the way, okay, after the cup final, obviously we're not privy to their conversations. I wish we were, but you're the manager of United, or I'm the manager. You're not happy with a player. You know next season is not in your plans. You're going to haul him into your office. Say, listen, mate, thanks for everything you've done, but this ship has sailed. You need to look for a new club. Instead of, the club had been messed around. They've messed him about now, this contract thing. We offer you a contract. He signs a contract. And then they're looking at O'Connor, looking at our goalkeepers. And it's like a guy who's having an affair on his girlfriend or his wife. He'd keep the girlfriend or the wife just in the background. Just keep her sweet, so she doesn't argue. So when the affair is up, he can run it back to the wife. I think there's a lot of that going on, Andy, as well. And that is the part that annoys me.
Yeah. I agree completely. It's like teasing. We'll tease you, loyalty. But unfortunately now, if you look at Pep, brutal first season, Joe Hart, he just got rid of him like that. All right, then he played with a few keepers. Liverpool did the same. You know what I mean? They got their keeper in. You're not looked back since. We need a strong keeper. He is not what he was. Yes, no. He was our player of the year for the last 10 years. I'm not disputing that. Fans player of the year. We would have been mid-table, maybe even lower in some of the seasons, like Jay said, under Van Gaal, under Moyes in his first season. So even with Mourinho as well, we would have been a bit lower. So it is a disgusting way to treat a legend.
It is.
As well, the way they've done it to Phil Jones as well.
No. You know what I mean? The reports was also coming out that he was also stalling. His heart was not in it as well, right? And when you say signing the contract, I mean, breach of contracts, that means that both parties need to sign the contract in order for be a breach. It's in that case, they presented him with the contract to say, you got to take a pay cut to 200. He said, okay, let me think about it. He probably signed it after a while. And then it came back to Ten Hag and whoever was going to sign it, the CFO or whoever says, no, Ten Hag said, I'm not going to approve this. So basically, Ten Hag has said, like, you're not my keeper. But at the end of the day, this is not the way you treat a legend. But as I say, always leave with your head up high, quit when you are on the top, right? And let us not kid ourselves. Like, you know, I have been always the Gea's biggest defender. I love him. You know, I love him. But the game has to move on. And football has moved on as well. I don't really remember. I mean, what happened 2015 with the broken fax machine? So where was the loyalty there as well? So he was looking to leave at that point of time. Now you're in the prime age. You have a child. God bless you. You know, and apparently Saudi Arabia is coming to pay you big money. So whatever Ten Hag is choosing, I back Ten Hag because at the end of the day, I look at the Manchester United FC Football Club rather than the individual. Right, that's my standpoint on it. But other than that, I love that here, to be honest. And it's sad to see, right?
It's sad to see, but you want a manager who's going to call big decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ollie never made big decisions. He was also, lads, let's keep it happy days. Even though mistakes were made with De Gea during Ollie's time, he just brushed it off. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. But we need a manager who's got a pair, and he's making them decisions. The club have given him the power to make them decisions. That is what he stated when he came in for this job, and he impressed Richard Arnold and co. He came in, I want control. I will not be and you will not be dictated by players in the last few seasons.
Right.
You want me to rock the apple cart? That is what I am doing. And that's what he's paid to do. He's paid to make big decisions at one of the biggest clubs in the world.
100%.
I mean, would any of us love to be in that position?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point, Andy. And when for me, I love De Gea for what he's done for us as a goalkeeper. Some call him a legend. I wouldn't put him that high, but he's a good player. He have done a great job for the club. But when we talk about legends, I speak about I would say George Best and Cantona, and that's the legends. De Gea is not in that bracket for me. But put that aside. When it comes to the situation today, De Gea, he's on 375 a week. He has had that salary for 6 seasons or 5, and he has had a great career, and the fans love him, and everything is okay. So. I don't see the big problem if we don't sign him and give him a new contract. It was a little bit disrespectful coming in the 12th hour. Yes, it was, but
he had this contract lying there for months. That's the thing.
Yeah. So it goes both ways for me. But it's a tough one, and but that's the biggest problem with our club at the moment. We have had too much sentimental FC and one big happy family.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be the best, if you're going to be competing with Manchester City and Real Madrid, and you want to be the best club in the world,
Okay, park that beer. Hold my beer, because now we're talking about the Manchester old. We're looking at the new establishment right now. With Erik ten Hag at the helm, with full control. We're looking at the appointment of Matt Hargreaves and everyone else. You see the fire sale going out with the squad. It's all about trimming the bloated squad at the end of the day and overinflated the wage bill, right? So there's a reason why they say, you're on 375. That was a mistake. That was Ed Woodward's, appointment in a way. But now everyone is on board. Everyone wants to go places. So you have to trim down the wage billing in terms of the FFP moving on the market. There's a reason why you have a fire sale of 13, dead wood, in the summer. Glazers would never had approved that in the past, but that is kind of an indication that they don't care. They're going. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say. We're moving forward, clean off the dead wood and bring in the new. Right? We're acting as a club. I mean, did I cry?
Point, Mick. Yeah, you were chatting there about lack of trimming the fat and lack of strategic decision making. It jogged the memory. I did a whole show 2 years ago on the goalkeeper thing on another channel, and De Gea on 375. We knew in that season and the off season we brought Dean Henderson back on loan from Sheffield United on 125 per week as the backup goalkeeper, and we set Romero in the squad at 80 grand a week. So there's upwards there of what 600,000 pounds on 3 goalkeepers, because we could not do some trim the fat and make decisions. And at that point, I think that was the COVID season where Henderson was actually decent for Sheffield United. He could have gone then for 30 mil quite easy. And if you cast your mind back, when Romero was number 2, Romero, to my knowledge, never actually put a foot wrong. He was probably one of the best goalkeepers we ever had. And then we let him go eventually in the January, and he was treated very badly when he left. So we do have a history of, I know you go back there to your point, of overpaying with players, long contracts, and we can't get rid of them. I'm sure we could all at top of our heads pick 5 players right now up top of our heads that should not be in the squad, are overpaid, on long contracts, and it's the legacy of Woodward. That's why when the Qataris come in, you pick a player like for instance, a Harry Maguire. They had no problem paying off the Liberty contract to get rid of him.
Interesting,
That's what
Jay,
used to
because
happen. Same with Martial, Sancho. There's a lot of players there, guys, that I think for me are stealing a wage.
right. Interesting you mentioned, because you can compare to your own personal experience in life. I mean, you're competing in bodybuilding and stuff like that. You know what off season and on season is. You know how it is to get ripped, right?
I do.
So now Manchester United is going into a lean machine, getting ripped, basically. It is on a calorie deficit, right? To show those flexible abs and the veins popping out, right? To, shred that fat. Don't you agree?
It's like we've been on a perma bulk for the last 5 years and got fat and lazy. That's what it's like.
We've been on a bulk.
For the last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And now we got to go on a quick mega cut.
Mega cut.
It's like trying to restore a classic car. You've got to get it right, then you want to show it off. So let it, we are getting ready. That car will be unveiled soon. That big red car, Ferrari, will come in.
100%. Guys, I just want to mention something in the comments. Basically, where did that go? Where did my comment go? Yes, guys, just want to remind you, 1958 and United against the Glazers. Big up Phil as well, being a big advocate. He's saying that Mick, AGM done. I think now shareholders not happy with the Glazers. Surely they can't be. The email campaign was sent out today by 1958 and United against the Glazers versus Adidas. By the 58 smashed in 6 shirts, then left 110 quid. Lol, insane. So big up for you guys. I mean, protest was there yesterday to block off the mega store. We saw NURADIN was standing there by the letter G. Did you guys see him? He was all plastered all over social media. He was like right by the letter G. It was NURADIN. By the way, I think he's coming in later on as well. But anyway, it's so important not to sponsor the Glazers coffers. And I saw the new kit and I tweeted like, this new kit looks sick, looks really nice with the black stripes and everything. And I posted, and somebody just tweeted like, how dare you? Like, what do you mean? How dare I? Should I run around naked? Like, did I say I'm going to purchase the kit? No way, man. I'm never going to buy from the mega store online. If I do, I use AliExpress. Not that I'm sponsored by AliExpress, but counterfeit.
I know where to get my shirts. And it's yeah. I think it's in the Far East somewhere. I got last year's from there, and mine's already ordered and on its way for less than a phone top up.
Stock market apparently closed today on a high 25.12. Well, things are moving. Well, apparently Lucky Singh is saying, well, stock market's going to rise tomorrow. Declan Rice tomorrow. Good evening, likes. Good evening, Box as well. Hi, everyone. God, we don't mean to neglect the VR room as you are so important, but FPL, Fozzie, hi, lads. I'm just trying to shout out people that I haven't seen anyone. Dan Smith is in the house. The director me is saying regarding the hair, he's a legend. He should be treated better. With that said, I'm open for something new. True. We have to move on pretty much. And apparently moving on with the goalkeeper situation, Onana, it's edging closer. The sporting director of Inter Milan is apparently flying in, talking 50 million euros. That is a pure profit for Inter Milan because he walked over for a free transfer from Ajax. Jarvis, any news?
No, not other than they are flying in. And I think the deal is going to happen. It's not a coincidence that the De Gea thing happened at the same time as the Onana thing happened. I think it's a done deal, to be honest. But I can't say it because I don't know anything. But that's just my gut feeling at the moment. And a player like Onana, for me, I think he will transform our team in a positive way. He will probably make a lot of the defenders better. He's a commanding goalkeeper. He loves to play with his feet. He will probably get both Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka better going forward because he will be more precise with his feet. He will probably demand more from Varane and even Licha. So I'm looking forward to get a player like him if we do.
Some people saying Diego Costa. It is like for like in a way. Diego Costa is probably going to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But Onana is not a bad shout either. Like, you know, his ability on the ball is press resistant. He plays like a center midfielder. His shot stopping is not bad at all, to be honest. So he's an overall package, right? And boy, if you can play with him like, you know, like a 13 player on the back, right? You are definitely cooking with the Kim Min-jae in the back line, with the Licha, with the, you know, Luke Shaw, and potentially a Daly or I remember Saka.
Yeah. Did you see in the Champions League final? He
Yes.
played a pass back. He put a pass out and he went straight to the midfield. Within 3 seconds, they're on the attack. He, like I say, that performance in the Champions League has done no harm for his prospects at all. Even though he was on a losing team, he was brilliant in that Champions League final.
Philip is saying there was a time when we discussed this so many times in the forum as well, that there was a time many years ago when players signed for Manchester United because it was Manchester United, the badge. Today, players are signing for Manchester United because of money, I guess. Yeah, God knows how many million they earn. Paul Parker. That's a Paul Parker quote, yes. Remember Paul Parker?
He was a good one. He was good, mate.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get Paul Parker on the stream. And that was been talking a long time ago, but, you know, you see how it goes. Okay, what's next? Onana, what's my name? This is people saying, Onana, what's my name? Onana, what a save. Remember who made up this song? That was me and you, Andy, wasn't it?
Yeah, can't wait to sing that round at Old Trafford. The Stretford end's got to sing that, haven't they? If he makes a save, you got to sing that at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even a quote for Paul Parker saying the Premier League, Manchester United also guilty when it comes to running football in this country. They are not only guilty club, but they are not innocent either. Correct. Ramo is also here. I prefer Mike Keegan, French. Mike Keegan. Where the hell did I get that from? Mike McGinn, French champion with Lille, Italian champion with AC Milan, modern keeper, leader, elite mentality, characteristics. We can be linked to every single player, but I'd rather have another keeper which has structure. Guess who? Knock. Who's there? NURADIN. Mr. Structure.
Big up, everybody.
Big up.
How are you?
Big up, NURADIN.
Really good. Well, considering it's Eid, so yeah, really
Eid Mubarak, Habibi.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I had a lot of food, seen a lot of family, chatted a lot of football. Some of them are City fans, some of them are Liverpool fans.
I didn't know they existed.
My condolences on Liverpool connections in your family.
Yeah, winding me up as usual, but I told them hopefully I will. I used to when I was younger. I always used to have the last laugh. And hopefully we can return to those days where I will have the last laugh.
100%. Nora, what you missed, we were talking about Onana, basically. Apparently he's the director of football is there to negotiate. You reckon he'll be signed, one of the first coming in the door?
Interesting. I saw the tweet. Was it a tweet of a boredom tweet kind of thing that David De Gea put up, and then Romano retweeted. So I'm just like, what's going on? Is the fact that the club are taking the mick out of him? Is that a boredom? Is what's going on? So it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I think we all know that we all understand that we need a modern keeper. We respect and love David De Gea, a Premier League winner at Manchester United. But yeah, it's time to move on now. You know, I love Kanchelskis. I remember I was crying when Kanchelskis left. He's one of my favorite players. I remember Mark Hughes, the reason why I support Manchester United. When he left Paul Ince, I was devastated. I was in the stadium where people were questioning Fergie. And actually, if you look back at the history, Fergie was questioning himself. Because if Paul Ince told it to me, right, like face to face, the fact that Fergie rang him while the Inter Milan agents were in his living room sorting out the last bits of the contract. And Fergie was like, I've changed my mind. And he's like, listen, we've already decided as a family, we're going to Italy. I can't back out of this. And Paul Ince did say, when he let Fergie know after he was coming back as well, he let him know that he wants to come back and he wants to come back to United. But obviously, he had a higher wages at that time because Italy was paying. Italy was like the Premier League, kids. Italy was like the Premier League. Used to pay the big bucks back in the day.
And
Nura, I gotta ask you because you were plastered all over yesterday's news. We saw you by the letter G. You were there at the protest.
Yeah,
Can you walk us
it's
through a little
really good. For a couple of hours, 3 hours, it was really good to be with lots of lads, lots of other people who wanted the same thing. So we shut down the megastore, both megastores. When enough people got there, we shut down both of them. And yeah, it was actually nice to talk to Simon Stone. I've met him before, but it was nice to talk to him. And Carl Anker from The Athletic. It was interesting to have exchanges with them too. And we did what we did. It wasn't about the numbers. It was about visibility. It wasn't about, obviously, a lot of people are like, oh, the sponsors. Like, listen, it was a way of letting the sponsors know as well. If these folks have any idea staying, this is what's going to happen. When we usually protest, we usually shut down. We always sing that song. You know what I mean? Shut it down or we're coming in. That's what we usually think. Shut it down or we're coming in. Close the store or we're coming in. That's what we usually sing. But it was really good to be with like-minded other United fans. And then also protesting for every United fan that can't protest. I live 12 minutes by bike. You know what I mean? It's 12 minutes for me. Straight down Stretford Road. You know what I mean? Into Chester Road, and I'm there. I'm outside Old Trafford. So it's a privilege and an honor. So all those who couldn't protest and but wanted to protest, who are all over this country and all over the world, it was a thing for them to let people know that we're visible. We're not going to stop. And the security as well, to be fair, got a day of it. One of my friends knows one of the security, and they were there till the afternoon. We shut the stores down for a couple of hours. That's what it was. But yeah,
I can't believe that people were coming. I mean, mostly probably tourists who go there to buy a shirt, or I don't know. But
yeah. And to be fair, I mean, there was a mother, like she said, he's 3 years old. It's his birthday, and she was like, he doesn't understand who the Glazers are. He's just been telling everybody, "Oh, I'm gonna get a United shirt." You know what I mean, with Bruno on the back. I'm getting a United shirt, like I'm getting a United shirt, like. And
you're getting viral by locking down the megastore, apparently.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, it's well coordinated. So I applaud you all, like, you know, and today, 9058 arranged the email campaign as well to block the sponsors as well that went out after the AGM meeting as well. So it is well coordinated, better than, you know, this year has been the best protest I've ever seen. Like, you know, that was arranged in a couple of months, 1 month ago, approximately, and this one as well. It's been more louder than ever. And we're coming to the end of the crescendo, basically. So we discussed this Bloomberg article as well. There's the AGM meeting with the votes, you know, the end of the financial fiscal year. There's been reports coming out to say the budget, what we can spend in the summer before we get sold. And that is on the 30th, available by the 30th. So now we're just talking about no BS United and transfer targets and Onana. And I think Jarvis has further points, but big up for coming in as well. Jarvis, what's next on the corner?
Yeah, I was thinking about we could talk about director of football because what's going to happen is the new owners going to keep the Fletcher and Murtaugh, or are they going to be replaced? Because you see other clubs, especially you see, for example, Newcastle with Dan Ashworth, and you have a lot of good director of footballs in the other clubs, and I don't think Fletcher and Murtaugh is the one to keep to get the club going. So who would you prefer? Do you have any candidates or thoughts about this? Maybe we go to Jay first.
I keep it short and sweet, guys, because I know everyone wants to have their say. I don't know the gentleman's name, but whomever is the director of football for Brighton, approach him, pay him whatever he wants, sign him up.
Yeah, 100%. They recruit from the grassroots.
If I'm not mistaken, Chelsea robbed the guys
Did
that
they?
was there. Chelsea robbed them.
But then
There was two of them.
Your knowledge on this topic is better than mine. Structure better than mine. Then.
Yeah. So Chelsea robbed them. Chelsea robbed when Graham Potter joined Chelsea. They took one of the head of recruitment and one of the directors of football. But the owner of Brighton, it's so like he's a footballing man. He loves Brighton. And I think he had other people planned in place to bring them in. And, you know, I think while the other guys were there, these guys were learning under them. and so they've just took over the mantle.
Newcastle got in Dan Ashworth, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dan Ashworth went to Newcastle, but two of the guys who were the head recruiters for Brighton, they both went to Chelsea. And I don't know if you ever saw in one game where Chelsea were getting smashed, the camera kept panning to them when they were Stamford Bridge. The two guys had just sat there like that, and Bowley's just brushing his hair or whatever he was doing. So there's two recruitment guys. The biggest misconception people, I think, make is just that one director of football. No, it's usually a team.
It's
a full team of like different kind of specialists. So the way modern way, the way Brentford went through the leagues is by doing data analytics. Data analytics is like massive. Liverpool had a lot of their success through data analytics, and the data analytics is so crazy. It tells you when a fullback or say a right back, how many times he makes passes into the last third, how comfortable he is in the ball in possession. It's crazy. But the best combinations is to use eye test, obviously, to watch the player, to check out the type of character they are, and then to also use the analytics as well. And one of the best things about analytics tells you as well is that how player is injury prone and the type of injuries player gets. And you know what players to stay away from.
But guys, I think it's quite ironic. Okay, we've had our owners for the last 18 years that own American football team. American football is so heavy stats related. When they're recruiting a player from college, say you get your first, second, third, fourth round draft pick, and they're off trading their draft pick this year for next year. I won't go into details of it, but it's all based on analytics. So to be owned by American owners that understand how the Buccaneers have traded players over the last 10 years, won a Super Bowl last year, 2 years ago with Tom Brady, and not to actually use that knowledge that's been proven to be used in the biggest sport in America, that's absolutely whimsical to me.
Yeah. You know what? I have a point there, you know, what you're saying as well. Regarding, it is a team, what NURADIN is saying as well. So somebody was saying here, like, and I'm going to put up the tweet as well, not Overmars. Basically, yeah, we already have Ten Hag. And if you saw what was successful for Ajax, it's a team. Like, you know, you had Overmars as a sporting director, backed up by his commercial CEO, Van der Sar. And then you had, you know, Erik Ten Hag as a coach as well. So that is a sort of a Bermuda Triangle, what you're saying, right? It's so important to have the right personnel that understands the philosophy, like how you want to play, who you want to recruit, what is the vision of the strategy. So it's so important to get it right. You know, people saying Paul Mitchell, you know, a lot of players, Edwards as well. But I still think that, you know, recruit somebody that knows Erik Ten Hag. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I know that Overmars has some dodgy stuff, but there was a successful partnership. And what they used to do as well, they used to go hunt in the grassroots leagues, like what Brighton is doing. You know, they used to go and buy this Lisandro Martinez for 7 million, you know, Anthony Dos Santos and all those players from the South American League, right? And look what they're selling now. Let's talk about Casado, right? How much did they bought in Casado for Brighton? I think it was £7 million. Look what he's worth now. Yeah. And now they want 80 million in a way.
And actually, Mick, on that Casado, I think was that back in 2021, 22, with the January transfer window. Casado was going for 5 million when he was playing for in Ecuador, and we dropped the ball and didn't sign him back then. 5 million.
Yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted it, but actually Antonio Valencia got in touch, and that's where you hear the quote from Casado when he says, "Yeah, I'm a United fan. I really want to play," because he was watching Antonio Valencia. Antonio Valencia is one of his heroes. Yeah, and Antonio Valencia apparently got in touch with the club and saying, "Yes, this is the guy." I remember at that time watching I think it was a Sky clip where Tim Figgery was on, and they were asking Tim Figgery about Casado, and he was like, he would suit English football. Tim Figgery, those of you who don't know, is a Latin American football expert. He's an English guy, Spurs fan, and he lives in Rio de Janeiro. He does a lot of stuff in Brazilian television or Latin American television. Just going back to what you were saying about the point that you were making I don't know what point you, Mick. What did you just say before? What were you talking
I
about?
was saying that it's so important that you work in a team and to point
Yeah.
the one that knows
Yeah,
Eric Ten
exactly.
Hag's vision and sporting project and the whole lot. And director of football is there to hunt. You have the analytics to understand the playing style of and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then you have the CEO that makes the commercial deals.
Yeah, no, 100%. And actually, not many people know that, but Eric Ten Hag was a director of football at once. He was actually, I think, for a year or two, was acting as a director of football. So he knows like the aspect of what it would mean to be a director of football. But the most strangest thing about Ajax, actually, they have one of the weirdest kind of thing. They have a specific board that looks at transfers. So their board can veto. There are, I think, I forgot his name. I think that it might have been an Argentinian player. He went from Sevilla to Ajax. Everything was done. He actually went there, flew there. And then guess what happened? The Ajax board vetoed everything and said, we're spending this amount of money on the player that age. They are really strict with the age. So whether it's Ten Hag, whether it's Edwin van der Sar, whether it's Overmars, they had to still contend with very stubborn board that don't believe in signing players above 26 or 25. They do not believe in signing, especially the money they're spending. If anybody's like near 28, 27, they don't want to sign them. And they veto it. So the manager can want him, the director of football can want him, the CEO can want him. They veto it. And Ajax are a very, very interesting club to do that, honestly. It's fascinating.
NURADIN, guys, I have a proposal. Like the video room also saying, like the whole panel should apply for the job as a sporting director and analysts and coaching staff for Manchester United. What do you reckon? I'm up for it. I'm game. But I'm going to end the Tate. Like mate, what's your thoughts and feelings like in terms of moving forward, in terms of who should be the next sporting director? Do you agree what the panel is saying here?
I do. I think we have to cut ties with connections. I mean, Darren Fletcher, he's not doing a good job. No. He's not doing a good job. And he's bringing his two lads over from City as well. So, he wants to keep it family, all connected and family-wise. So maybe, look, you've done that. He's done that off his own back, basically, to get his boys into Man United. Maybe they may be good in the future. They may be good, but that is, like you say, it's for himself. He's looking after his family. But I think, new ideas, fresh minds. I won't mind Van der Sar. I said this on the agenda. Don't tell me ex-players have not been approached in the last few months behind closed doors. Like you say, Rio knew something when he was at the train station and was about to get on Thomas the Tank Engine for London. So he knew something. So Gary Neville, he may know something. He's going on Dragon's Den. That won't last long if Qatar comes sniffing in. So you don't know.
He went on the gravy train, didn't he?
He's on the gravy train. He's on the gravy train. That might have been a cryptic message. When he was at the train station, Rio, that was a cryptic message. I'm getting on the gravy train, people. But you know what I mean? He did that tweet. He did that video, and the train was behind him. Final boarding, you know what I mean? That's an encrypted.
All
video.
Aboard, yeah.
All aboard for Qatar, everybody. So you don't know.
I'm just a little bit cryptic of time because I don't want to sort of. Everyone's got to get up early in the morning. Jay's going to go early. You got to work, everyone. So I got to kind of want to round up with the midfielder question because that leads into Moises Caicedo, and another thing is Frankie De Jong. That's never seems to disappear because it was mentioned yesterday. It's been mentioned 2 days in a row, and I think that's going to be brewed up as well. But regarding Moises Caicedo, I'm reading one football app that that I said it before, like we are playing hardball with Chelsea at the moment because Chelsea wants to offload as much money as they can for a Mason Mount, right? So they're playing hardball, right? But at the end of the day, we put the money down and we say, no, 50 plus 5 add-ons, 55, not a penny less. Eric Ten Hag said, no, we're not going to oversign. And now you're seeing they want to meet face-to-face to discuss. Of course, they need to offload him so they can go for Caicedo. In the meantime, we said, nah, screw you guys. We're going after your target as well, which is Caicedo, right? Guys, I'm going to stick to you, Andy. Like, if you had a choice, right, between Frankie De Jong and getting a Caicedo, who would you pick?
Frankie de Jong all the way. Frankie
All
de
the
Jong all the way, but a player who doesn't want to come, who will only be forced out. He's very happy in Barcelona. He's happily married now. He's won the Liga last year, but they've brought the City lad. He's come in on a 4-year deal. They have to free some wages up. So I don't know. Casido, like you say, Jay said, we could have got him a couple of years ago for £5 million. It's just incompetence. It's like, who'd you go? Mr. Bean does the negotiation. Sign it. Did you get him? That's what Man United's transfer strategy is. Mr. Bean. That's it.
Yeah. People saying Casado. Yeah. I mean, I go to NURADIN because NURADIN, you like me, like, you know, we keep saying if we miss out signing Casado, that is like missing out, you know, on a N'Golo Kante when he was available. And look what a play he became. You're on mute, by the way, brother.
Yeah, for me, it'd be absolute travesty. I rate this kid. In the last 3 months of the season, I watched Brighton because they play the best football in the league. Before that, Arsenal were playing really good football. City played in part some good football. But the best team in the league that I don't have anything against, that I'm a neutral at, and I was loving watching them, was Brighton. And yeah, you can say, you know, it's the system of the Zebri that put in place that's making all these players look amazing. Yeah, there's a part to that. But for me,
but he played half a season, right? Under.
Yeah. So Casado, for me, they don't make Europe, and that's why they rejected the bid from Arsenal, 70 million in January, because they don't make Europe without Casado. It's like, to me, he's like a throwback to Roy Keane, and I know that that's a lot of lofty words on a Paul Ince, all action, wanting it, absolute the physicality, the sense of gravity, the strength, cannot be moved off the ball, and not even that, he's passing, his accuracy, passing into the last third is brilliant. It's so underrated. He's literally cutting out the passing lanes and getting balls on the floor, punching the ball into forwards. It's brilliant. Obviously, also McAllister had a bit to do with that because the combination play that they had was amazing. For me, it would be a travesty. It'd be a really travesty. Like,
but how about if we then surprise everyone and get Casado and Frankie?
Yeah, I mean, that'd
be madness.
Why can't Manchester United do both? Why can't Manchester United do both? Listen, to me, the best carrier of a football midfield player is Frankie de Jong. He's
100%.
absolutely incredible. In terms of being press resistant, he's absolutely incredible.
Right.
But like Andy said, getting a player who doesn't really fancy and doesn't want to come to Manchester United.
Okay, I'm
always like, regardless how shit we are, if we're in a championship, a player should be excited about Manchester United.
I don't know, man. I think I have a sort of sneaky feeling we're in for a surprise this summer, like, you know. And I'm gonna go to you, Jay Daly. Is you know, what do you think, you know, in terms of Casado or having a Frankie de Jong, or would you have them both? What's your preference, sir?
Look, we're not playing FIFA here, so we're not going to get them both.
Fantasy football.
Look at the fact. Last season, we spent all last summer flirting with Barcelona. It was never going to happen. I said from the start it wasn't going to happen. He's in his 20s. He's living in Barcelona, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Do you think he's going to come to Manchester and play his heart and soul out on a pissy wet Wednesday night in January? He's not. It's not for him. I think he'll come. He played for us. He'd be a fair weather player. He'll turn it on when he feels like it. And I take your point. He's press resistant. He's great in the ball. Sickly skilled. But I think if we got him, he doesn't want to be here. He could become a Paul Pogba 2.0. That would be my fear. Now, unbelievably talented guy, but I would question his mentality, and also his partner clearly loves the lifestyle in Barcelona.
Who wouldn't?
So she doesn't want to move. So if she doesn't want to move, and he decides, listen, love, we're going. That's it. We're going. Think about it. Pissy wet January, February, Manchester. he's coming home. She's moaning in his ear every single day. Is his head going in the right place come Saturday to turn it on in a away game against Burnley?
True.
So
I mean, this
on that, I look at the mentality of the player and their motivation and their influences. I take a Cedar every day of the week.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. But that proves the fact as well, that because what people were saying about Harry Kane, to say, no, he's a London boy, he's a family guy, doesn't want to move. And now you're seeing, like, you know, people actually, Bayern Munich's put in a bid for 70 million that's been rejected. So you wouldn't put in a bid if you didn't speak to, you know, his family and everything else. So that is just a fallacy in a way. At the end of the day, money talks, right? So per my understanding, like, you know, Barcelona, they pulled their last financial levers. They are in a big financial shit at the moment. They need to offload a lot of players. And bear and behold, I think they're going to force him out at the end of the day, because they paid, you know, they were owing him about 18 million euros, right, in deferred wages. So half of that is being paid off. And if you get a Qatari ownership, they're probably going to go in and give Erik ten Hag something to say, hey, like they did with Neymar at PSG, like in Barcelona, they bought him out his contract. But they went to La Liga, they went to FIFA, they sorted it out, they applied an application, and they bought him out his contract. Same thing can be done for Frankie de Jong. So I wouldn't sleep on that. Like, you know, at the end of the day, we know Erik ten Hag's obsession. Like, you know, he built the whole transfer plan last year regarding Frankie de Jong, and he had to divert at the end of the day to Casemiro, right? So I don't know. I think he's very stubborn. He's very obsessed. And I'm sure he's got that in his mind, unless he's changed his tactics. But for me, Casemiro, yes. Together with the Casado, wow. And if you bring in a ball carrier, the best ball carrier is 100% Frankie de Jong. I don't know. What do you think, Jarvis, as well?
Yeah, when it comes to if I could choose between Frankie and Caicedo, I would choose Frankie de Jong, because I think he will suit our style of play. The thing with Caicedo, you know, everybody talks so highly about him right now, and like he's the new shiny toy, and everybody loves him. But
Yeah.
you know, you got to give him some time. He's young. He has played like one good season in the Premier League. Why do we want to choose him over a seasonal pro who has performed in Champions League year after year and plays at Barcelona? So I would choose Frankie de Jong if it was up to me.
Yeah, but we don't know what Erik ten Hag has his plan. What he has, he's probably hiding his ace of spade, you know, somewhere. But you know, I'm going to go back to NURADIN as well. Like Nura, like, you know, it's a point. What Jarvis is saying, that this guy only played like a half a season in the Premier League, something like that. And at the end of the day, if you look at who the manager is and who actually brought up Frankie de Jong, do you think he's really worth that money, what, you know, Brighton is asking for? Because barring that they bought him in for cheap, no, it's overpriced.
No, he's not. Well, obviously, it's ridiculous, isn't it? When Declan Rice is going for 100 million, like it's ridiculous. It's like, it's so ridiculous. And blame Chelsea for that, for buying a holding midfield playmaker in Enzo Fernandez, who's a fantastic player, by the way. Another guy Ralph Rangnick talked about. Ralph Rangnick wanted him. There's another player that he put. It was him and Alves, who plays for City now. Those two players he mentioned, and he was like, Manchester United should move, but they never listened to him. Again, Shambles FC. Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean will be Mr. Bean do a better job. I actually trust Mr. Bean more than I.
Sorry, I missed the super chat earlier. Like, you know, I have to apologize. Sorry. This is for Premier League ITK. Thank you for the donation. Today I feel Qatari. Sorry for missing that. I was totally lost, so my apologies. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, listen, for me, Caicedo, the reason why I'm buzzing about him, because he's 21 years old and he's that good already. This kid has got a ceiling to be. I think, when the older he gets, with good coaching, he's going to be a really good number 8. So people are thinking him and Casemiro sitting. No, he's got the ability to play as a number 8. He's got the ability and the lungs and legs to get up and down that pitch. That's the difference in terms of. And I look at last season when we got battered. We got battered by the top 10 teams in the league. We got battered because we even with Casemiro in the team, we didn't have the legs to get about with him. We didn't, and that to me tells me that's where we are. If you're telling me Casemiro, Bruno, and Casado going to Anfield. Yeah, I think we're going to give it. We're going to give
But
it.
what's the reason for Mason Mount? What do you think Eric Ten Hag sees? Is it more of attacking, like off the ball? I mean,
Yeah, tactical thing. I've done a scouting report on him. It's basically, I don't really watch him. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't do watch-alongs. I watched the odd Chelsea game here and there. Obviously, when Tuchel was there, he was quite decent. And he's been one of the most talented young Chelsea players. I just used to see that guy missing chances, but then I used to get confused to say which one now is missing chances. That's what Chelsea attack used to be. When I saw him, he played more of an attacking midfielder. He played more on the left-hand side. But after doing my research on him, the reason why coaches like him is off the ball. He's very good at tactically following instructions. He's very good at cutting down the passing lanes. He's very good at being the trigger for the press in certain like pressing zones. That is one of his abilities. But I do not want to buy a player just off the ball business. I want you to give me quality on the ball. And the idea that he is worth 60 million when he's got 1 year left on his contract, where he's had 2 abysmal seasons.
Yeah. Edward Reed is agreeing. Mount is high energy off the ball player that can also pass pretty well as well. That's pretty much why he's looking at him as well. But I saw something that Dan Smith was saying in a way that, you know, De Jong doesn't want to come to Manchester United, wake up. That's more paper talk as well. But of course, you got to have to come out and say that in paper because you're under contract by Barcelona. And during the employment contract, you're not allowed to say anything else. Why would you go and say, yeah, I want to come? You know what I mean? You know, we wouldn't have spent all last summer if he wasn't willing to come at the end of the day. Does that make sense? I'm just talking from an intermediate perspective.
Yeah, Murta and twice, weren't they? They're basically like they were having a good time having meals in Barcelona, getting pictured everywhere, weren't they? So at the end
but
of
they had
day,
an agreement. They had an agreement with the agency. They had an agreement with the club. They were agreeing the price. You know, you wouldn't speak to the player if the player didn't want to come. At the end of the day, what it came down to is like you, as an agent, you would advise, as a legal advisor, you would advise the player, don't leave.
But they got played. But they got played, Mick. They got played, and they got shown for the fools that they are. Because Barcelona was pulling lever after lever, knowing that we can't sign this player because he was never going to walk away from 17 million, and they were never going to give us that, like, lessen the price so that we could give him that 17. Actually, it's against the law for that to happen, apparently.
100%.
We could not have given him that 17 million. And
yeah, but imagine now if you delist yourself at New York Stock Exchange and you become a private hold company, you can do that. You can go in and buy off the contract. Like Barcelona is not listed on the stock exchange. Now, if Sheikh Yassim comes in and 92 Holdings, what they can do is to say, look, you know, we buy out the contract. We pay you off that deferred wages. So I wouldn't sleep on that.
No, anyway. But this is it. As we speak right now, they got played. The Murta, for me, and Arnold showed themselves for what they are. And even Murta flying to Turin was even more embarrassing.
Oh, like Andy.
You could have done it over the Zoom.
Andy, Murta got played by Veronique Rabiot again.
Yeah, he got played by a MILF, didn't he? Wine and dined in Surrey. He got played by a MILF, you know what I mean? He tried to do Stifler's mum, basically, and he got played and he got shown up twice in space of 12 months. Oh, my God. Stifler's mum. Sorry, man. Didn't work out.
Andy, let's be fair, Andy. Who hasn't been played by MILF? Let's be fair.
Mummy knows best.
How many likes do we have at the moment? Do we have 70 likes? Can we get 100 likes, please? Because we got to go. We got to close the shop soon. People got to go to work. People, I've been busy today. It's been this is the released 3 streams today. This is the 4th today. It's been busy. And tomorrow morning, I'm doing a transfer podcast with Talk Sports and Anil Condola as well.
Oh, Talk Sport! Oh man!
Yeah, Anil, he's a Manchester United fan. He's a brilliant guy. Anil Condola. You should watch him. He's a really good guy, right? Yes. So it's fair enough. And I would just like to round up with the round of applause for everyone. NURADIN, thank you for coming in. Eid Mubarak, sir, as well. Jarvis, Cocker, what's behind your window? We all know.
Sun is shining.
Yeah, we could have gone for hours and hours and hours, but at the end of the day, like, who's going to watch 2 hours of video? Last time we did, people actually did. We have over 5,000 views, so all good. But you know, at the end of the day, we're here to call it for no bullshit. So, like this kid.
What? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
100%, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for the whole VR room. You've been amazing. Sorry for the missed super chat, but we caught up to you. Books is in the house, directing me, RJ, NG, Jonathan Ball, everyone in the regulars, the moderators, Tanky, Jolly Marlin. Jolly probably made another pizza. Milos Mitic from Serbia, Almac. So we couldn't read everyone's tweets, not tweets. I keep saying tweets because I'm so used to Twitter, right? So chats, you know what I mean? But I don't know, guys. Anything else that you have on your mind, guys? Like, Andy, Jay, I hope you enjoyed your time. This was the second time in the ring. We had the referee coming in as Mr. Structure.
Oh yeah,
Put some structure to the stream.
Was it back in? Was it 20 years ago? If you remember, Celebrity Deathmatch. Along them lines, like me and Jay, like ready to go, no bullshit United, and NURADIN coming as the referee. So yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch will be back next Wednesday. Oh, no bullshit United, AKA.
Yeah, we'll see you next Wednesday.
We'll be back
guys.
next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday. I've spoken to Alice. Alice, Alice talks football, right? So she might be coming on as well. So yeah, so that's going to be a super panel as well. So Jay, I hope to see you also next week.
Pleasure, guys. Good night.
Rematch,
See you all soon.
third round. Enjoy your night, Jay. Sleep tight and don't let the media journals bite you. You know what I mean?
I know. Good night.
Slunge. Cheers.
Yeah.
Guys, Jay, thank you so much for coming in. And Andy, what's the plan for tomorrow? Work?
I'm not at work till tomorrow night, so it's clean up, it's rest. Emails to do, applications to fill out, this, that, and the other, some forms to fill in, contracts, you know what I mean?
Personal terms, not a problem, yeah?
Yeah, paydays and all that, earning, keeping, seeing what can you utilize. You know your limit. I know my limit, but it's a shame Man United don't know their limits. You know what I mean? So I know what to buy, what to not get. So it's just shame Man United can't do nothing like that. Like I say, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean.
or do a Simpson with a donut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, guys. Peace, love, and bananas. That's what we do here. Peace, love, go bananas. NURADIN, are you off tomorrow? You working?
Yeah. I'm in work tomorrow. But
doing a stream tomorrow? Or?
I'm most likely gonna do a stream tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna do a stream, testing out the camera. Big up Jarvis for the tip. So this is the first time made a debut on the manual.
We are not streaming tomorrow night, so if you want us on, we can come on, mate.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully. I'm just gonna do a bit of a news roundup about what's going on in it. Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for that massive news to drop. But fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It's getting close. It's getting close.
When it drops.
There you go. Hotter meter.
Yeah.
Hotter meter.
Sorry, Andy. That's the hotter meter.
Oh, yeah, it's not fair enough. But when it drops, like I say, the internet will go do lala and crash. Refresh.
Elon Musk is going to go, Twitter bird flew off the nest.
It'll be on par with Michael Jackson along those levels.
The horse is bolted like Weghurst. The Twitter bird flew away from his cuckoo nest.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting, but we just hope and pray in it. We hope and pray. That's all we can do. Hope and pray.
Okay, love. What do you say, NURADIN, always? What do you say in your channel?
Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light, always.
Peace, love, and light. But we say here, peace, love, go bananas.
Yeah. I'm going to go for love and peace and banana milkshake. Banana milkshake. I love banana milkshake.
Guys,
back in the day, 20 years ago, Mackie D's. Ooh.
Mackie D's, yeah. Guys, been fantastic. This been an amazing panel today. Superstar panel. We have heavyweights fighting Andy Tate. We have Jay Daly. We have Mr. Structure as well. Guys, we see you tomorrow. Go check Mr. Structure's channel. Anyway, half of the people here are always on your channel. Anyway, Stephanie Griffin here. Hit the like. 84 likes, people. What's going on here?
It's absolute shambles. There isn't 100 likes already, and there's over 200 people watching.
Yeah. Guys,
shame,
it's been amazing.
Shame.
Nah, we don't have to repeat it, but anyway, I'm so proud of this community. I'm proud of this collaboration that we have, because bringing positivity back to the fan base is what we here for at the end of the day. I'm super tired. I've been doing 4 videos today, and I think I'm just going to go and watch some TV. Listen, guys, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free. And if you want to join by being a member. If you want to join the Telegram community, there's also a link in the video description how to join. Just click on the link, join the Telegram chat. If you want to continue within this community to talk, you're more than welcome to join. It's a ball there. Jonathan Ball is leading that chat room as well. He's a baller. Guys, thank you so much. Jarvis, thank you so much. Say hello to your family. And, Mr. NURADIN, take care of Skolzy, your cat.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. He's out at the moment. I'm waiting for the rascal. He's there chasing all sorts. Crazy.
Oh, okay.
He's
guys,
like Skolzy. He's a ginger nut.
He is a ginger nut. He comes on with dead pigeons, right?
Comes on with a mouse. He comes on with a mouse in his mouth and gives it as a present.
Honestly, he does. Mouse, pigeons, birds, other birds.
I gotta tell you a funny story, guys. Listen, for the past 3 days, my cat is afraid to go out because we have, seagulls. They're fucking crazy, right? We have seagulls across the road sitting on the neighbor's roof. They don't sleep. They're 24 hours awake. They hatched 2 chicks, and the chick fell off the roof. So they're constantly watching the chick, and that is in front of our house. So they're constantly attacking the cat. So cat comes home all... They've been shitting on him left, right, center after I'm tired of cleaning his shit, So now he's afraid of going out, right, because of these chicks. Anyway, funny story. Guys, been an amazing stream. Thank you so much for coming on. Peace, love, peace, and bananas. See you tomorrow, Mr. Structure. Send us the invite. We come up and gas up your show as well. Andy Tate, enjoy your night shift tomorrow. Jarvis, say hello to Norway and your family. Peace and signing up. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.